Dear students, we studied about properties of solid, liquid and gases in the previous session. We have learned about the arrangement of particles, voids, force of attraction, movement of particles, kinetic energy, volume and shape. Today we are going to discuss other properties of solid, liquid and gases. The first one, compressibility. Compressibility, we have the definition. Compressibility is the ability to be reduced to a lower volume when force is applied. So we studied about volume in the previous session and we have seen that volume is the amount of space occupies by the substance is called volume. Now, what do you mean by compressibility? Compressibility is the ability, is the capacity to be reduced to lower volume when force is applied. That means if we apply external force on a substance, if the substance decreases, reduces its volume, then we can say that that substance shows compressibility or that substance is compressible. So we have to apply force on the substance, then if it decreases, reduces its volume, that is the space filled by the substance. If the space filled by the substance decreases, if we apply external force, then that substance shows compressibility. And in the case of solids do not show compressibility or solids are not compressible. Then gases are highly compressible or gases show compressibility. What about liquids? Generally liquids do not show compressibility, or we can say that they are slightly compressible. So compared to solid, liquids are compressible, but when we compare the compressibility of liquids and gases, then we have to understand that gases are highly compressible. Liquids are slightly compressible. That is, when you apply pressure on gases, what will happen? The gases will reduce their volume. So this is the condition of compressibility. If you apply force, external force on gas, it decreases its volume. So that's why gases are highly compressible or they show compressibility. And what about solids? In the case of solids, they are not compressible. That means if you apply force on any solid, the solids do not decrease their volume. For example, if you apply force on this pen solid, then we can see that this pen cannot reduce its volume. It will not reduce. But at the same time, when you apply force on the gas will reduce its volume. What is the reason behind it? If you apply force, external force like this on the gas particles, on the gas, we know that in the case of gases, the particles are far away and they are loosely packed and there will be less force of attraction and more movements, or they are always moving. So because of this arrangement, if you apply pressure on gas, what happens? They can, since there are movements, they can reduce their volume like this. So they come close to each other. So if you apply force on gas, because of no force of attraction and more spaces, and there will be more movements, as a result, when you apply pressure on this, then the space or volume will be reduced like this. That means these particles will come close to each other. Means the volume decreased. So initially this much of volume is the volume, the space filled by the gas. The space filled is called volume. So this is the initial volume of the gas before you apply pressure. And when you apply force or pressure on it, what happens? Because of the movements of particles, they come close to each other. As a result, you will get the gas like this. That means now the volume is only this much. So see the difference in the volume, large volume initially, but after applying force, this much of volume. That means volume is decreased. So this is called this compressibility. That is when you apply force, when you apply force on a substance, if it decreases its volume, that is called compressibility. So the compressibility maximum in the case of gases. What are the reasons? Because of the arrangement of particles, loose packing, no force of attraction and more movements, and when you apply force on it, the particles come close to each other and it will be in less volume. So this is about compressibility. Then what about liquids? If you apply force on liquids, see there are movements and force of attraction is still there but less compared to solid state. So if you apply force on it, we can see that there may be change or there will be slight change in the volume. So the liquids can decrease or reduce the volume if you apply force slightly. So we can see that liquids are slightly compressible. But what about solids? If you apply force on any solid, generally any solid, they will not reduce or decrease their volume, because for reducing the volume they have to move. These particles should move and there should be no force of attraction. Then only they can move, then only they will convert into small volume. So due to the arrangement of particles in the solid state, solids are not compressible. So we can perform an activity to show that gases are highly compressible and solids are not compressible and liquids are hardly or slightly compressible. So for that activity we need 3 syringes. We need 3 syringes of same size, 100 ml syringe. And why do we need 3 syringes? Because we will fill in the first syringe we will take the solid, in the second one we will take liquid, and in third one gas. And we will do the compressibility. Compressibility means we have to apply force, and we will see. So 3 syringes we have, and the nozzle of the syringe is closed using cord. Then, so we have syringe and the nozzle of the syringe is closed using cork, and after that remove this piston, remove the piston out, Then after removing the piston, in the first syringe we will fill solid. Here we will take chalk powder, solid, that is chalk powder. In the first syringe we will fill chalk powder. Then in second syringe remove the piston, and inside the second syringe we will fill liquid, that is here we take water. And in third one remove the piston, and we will not fill anything in this case, because third one is for gases, and if it is empty, if we don't fill anything, that means already there is gas, which gas already air is occupying. So we don't fill anything, it should be empty, that is air is already filled, means gas is there. So in the first case chalk powder solid, in second one water liquid, and third one is empty, that is air is there, gas is there. Now after that we are going to push the piston using our hands. So now we are going to push the piston in each of the syringe using hands. And if you push the piston like this, in which case the piston pushed more. See, in the last case we can see that the piston pushed more. But in this case, in solid state, there is no movement of piston. But in the case of water, in the case of liquids, there is slight changes are there, but maximum movement. Piston is pushed more inside the syringe in the case of air. That means if you apply external force on gas, we can see that the volume is decreased. So that's why the piston is pushed more in the third one, because in the third one gas is there, the air is there. If you apply force on it, it can reduce the volume. As a result, the piston pushed more inside. What about the chalk powder? In this case, chalk powder is a solid, and we know that in solid no movement of the particles, and solids are not compressible. Therefore, the piston cannot apply force, or piston cannot push inside the syringe. But in the case of water, the piston pushed more than chalk powder but less than third one. So from this activity we can see that since the third one, the piston is pushed more inside, means in third one gas is there, it means that gases are highly compressible, because when you push this piston, the volume of the air, initially suppose this was the volume of the air, when you push it is reduced this much. So that means decrease in volume. So this is called compressibility. When you apply force externally, there should be decrease in the volume, then that substance is said to be compressible. But in solids, there is no movement in the piston, that means solids are not compressible. Next property, fluidity. Fluidity means ability to flow. Fluidity means ability to flow. It is the ability to flow. And in the case of solids, solids cannot flow. Liquids can flow, gases can flow. So we will see that liquids and solids can flow. Both liquids and gases, both liquid and gas can flow, but solids do not flow. So we know that the solids are not able to flow, but liquids, water or any other form of liquid can flow. Gases like air or any other gases can also flow easily, but in the case of solids they cannot flow. So this ability to flow, capacity to flow, is called fluidity. And liquids and gases can flow easily, hence they are called fluids. Now we will learn about fluids. So what do you mean by fluid? Liquids and gases are able to flow. Therefore, liquids and gases are collectively called fluids. So fluids means, what are fluids? Fluids means, fluids are the substances which are able to flow. And we see that both liquid and gas can flow. Therefore, both are together called, both are collectively named fluids. Liquids and gases can flow easily, therefore they are generally called fluids. So if there is fluid is given, that means there is both liquid and gas. Fluids means substances which are able to flow. Since gases and liquids can flow, gases and liquids are called fluids. Next property, next one, rigidity. Rigidity is the tendency to maintain shape when force is applied. When force is applied. So in this case, if you apply external force and there is no change in the shape of the substance, we can say that the substance is rigid or it shows rigidity. So here we have to apply force, external force on the substance, and it should not change its shape. Then that substance is rigid. For example, in the case of any solid, solids are highly rigid or solids show rigidity. If you apply force on solid, any solid, generally we can see that it will not change its shape. So for example, if you apply force on this pen, it cannot change its shape. Then that is, it shows rigidity. So in the case of solids, if you apply force, it will not change its shape. Why? Because of the close packing of the particles. Because we have seen that in solid state, the particles are closely packed and no movements. As a result, if you apply force on any solid, it can be pen, board, chair, metal. If you apply force on it, there will be no change in the shape, because due to the close packing of the particles, these solids have a definite shape. Already we have studied that solids have definite or fixed shape. So why do they have fixed shape? So they have because of the close packing of particles. So particles are closely packed. There is proper arrangement of the particles and no movement. As a result, they will have a permanent shape. So if you apply force on it, it will not change its shape. So then this substance is rigid or it shows rigidity. But what about gases and liquids? They do not show rigidity or they are not rigid. Because if you apply force on gases and liquids, we can see that they will change their shape. For example, suppose if you have an inflated balloon and if you press on the balloon, we can see that the shape of the balloon changes easily. That means if there is change in the shape, it means it does not show rigidity. Because inside the balloon, air is present, air is gas, and if you press on the inflated balloon, the shape of the balloon can be changed or decreased. It means that gases are not rigid. Similarly, if you apply force on liquids, we can change its shape. Means if there is change in the shape when we apply force, it will not show rigidity or it is not rigid. But in the case of solids, because of their close packing, they are highly rigid. But in gases and liquids, when you apply force externally, the particles are continuously moving and there are large amount of spaces. Because of this, they will change their shape when you apply external force. Then they are not rigid or they do not show, gases and liquids do not show rigidity. Next is diffusion. Diffusion is the process of mixing and spreading out of a substance with another substance. So that is mixing and spreading out of a substance with another substance. So that is, if you mix one substance with another substance, if they mix properly, then we can see that it undergoes diffusion. So this is, in the case of solids, we can see that generally solids do not show diffusion, but in liquids they can show diffusion, and in gases maximum diffusion or gases diffuse fastest. What are the reasons? So diffusion means the substance should mix in another substance. So mixing means there should be movement of the particles or there should be empty spaces between the particles. Then only the mixing of two substances will take place. For example, in the case of liquids and gases, there are more empty spaces between them and more movement of the particles. So if you mix a liquid with another substance or in gas, the particles can be mixed easily. So that process is called diffusion. So diffusion maximum in the case of gas and no diffusion in liquids and in solids, but in liquids it diffuses. So we will see some example for this. This is an example of liquid diffusion in liquid state. Diffusion in liquid state. Here, in this example, we have water in a glass and we put one drop of ink. And when you put drops of ink in the water, we will see that the ink start diffusing throughout the water. That means there is mixing and spreading of ink between the particles of water. So ink particles will be mixed and spread out between the particles of liquid water, because we know that water is a liquid state, and liquid state there are empty spaces. So the ink particles can mix or they can occupy the empty spaces between the water. So as a result, the spreading and mixing of ink particles between the particles of water takes place. This process called diffusion. So it is an example of diffusion in liquids. Then if we discuss about diffusion in liquids, the rate of diffusion is not same for all liquids. The rate of diffusion. So what do you mean by rate of diffusion? The speed of the diffusion is not same for all the liquids. For example, in the case of ink, if you put ink in water, within seconds ink drop will mix, spread or diffuse in the water. That means the rate of diffusion the rate of diffusion of ink in water is very high. So that's why it diffuses very fast. But instead of that ink, if you put one drop of honey, water we have in the beaker, and if you put one drop of honey in this water, we can see that the diffusion is very slow, or there is no diffusion compared to ink. But in ink, we can see that within seconds ink diffuses. Then another liquid honey, if you put the less or slow diffusion, that means the speed of diffusion, the rate of diffusion is not same for all the liquids. So generally we can say that liquids show diffusion, but the rate of the diffusion of liquids is not same for all. Different liquids have different rates of diffusion. Then in the case of gases, in gases diffusion is highest. So why? Because between the gas particles there are more spaces or voids. So because of these more spaces and or voids, the particles can easily occupy. The particles of another substance can easily mix or occupy the position, because there are large amount of spaces between the gas particles. As a result, the diffusion of gas is maximum. So for example, when you spray perfume in one corner of a room, so you will get the smell, fragrance of the perfume easily. Why? Because the particles of the perfume is in the form of gas. When you spray the perfume or deodorant, the particles of perfume is in gaseous state. If it's a form of vapors, gas, and it will mix in the air. Air is also a form of gas, and we know that in gases many large amount of space are there. As a result, the particles of perfume can be mixed easily in the space of air, and because of this movement or mixing of the particles, we get the smell easily. So this process is called diffusion. So the diffusion will be maximum in the case of gases. Now we have studied that solids do not show diffusion because no spaces are there and no movement of the particles. So therefore, generally we can say that solids do not show diffusion. But in some situations, we can experience diffusion in solid state. In some scenario, we can consider the diffusion of solids. That is in this case. That is if you the chalk marks on the board. It is an example of diffusion in solid. So generally solids do not show diffusion. So in this example, suppose if you do not rub the chalk mark on the board for a long time. So after writing, That's after writing, if you do not rub the board and the chalk marks are remaining there for a long time, for 6 or 7 months. And after that, after 6 or 7 months, if you try to rub the chalk marks, we can see that it is very difficult to remove the chalk marks on the blackboard. So what is the reason? So in this case, we can find diffusion in solid. Because the chalk solid, the particles of chalk is diffused into the particles of this board. So that means solids can show diffusion, but it will be very slow process. So if you do not rub the chalk marks on the blackboard, wooden blackboard or blackboard for a long time, and after that, after 6 or 7 months, if you try to remove the chalk marks, if you try to rub the chalk mark, it will be very difficult for you, because the reason is that the chalk particles, the solid chalk particles already undergone diffusion. That is, the chalk particles diffused into the blackboard. So that's why it is difficult to remove the chalk marks. So it is an example of diffusion in solid, but generally we will say that solids do not show diffusion, gases and liquids show diffusion easily. And the last property we have, density. So what do you mean by density? The mass per unit volume of a substance is called density. The mass per unit volume of a substance is called density. So we know what is mass and what is volume. So what do you mean by mass? Mass means the amount of matter present in a substance is called mass. So the mass of this mass of this board means the amount of matter, the amount of particles present in this board will be its mass. The mass of this pen is the amount, the total amount of the particles or total amount of the matter present in the pen is its mass. Then what do you mean by volume? We have studied about volume. Volume is the amount of space filled by the substance is called volume. So mass means the amount of matter present in the amount of particles, total amount of particles present in the substance. Then volume means the amount of space filled by it. It is called volume. Then mass per unit volume. Mass per unit volume of any substance is called density. So for finding density of any substance, we mass divided by volume. After calculating mass and volume of the substance, divide it, you will get the density of the substance. So the mass per unit volume is called density. Then, if you discuss about volume of solid, liquid and gas, we will find that solids have high density and liquids have low density compared to solids, and in the case of gases, less density. So now we will see what is the reason behind it. We have studied what is density. Density is mass by volume. Mass per unit volume of a substance is called density. Now the density of solid, liquid and gas is not same, different. So now we will see the reason behind it. So we can say that the density of the substance depends on the volume. So the density of a substance is depending on the volume. That is, the density of any substance depending on the amount of space it occupies. And from this expression, density is equal to mass upon volume. We have density is equal to mass upon volume. We have density is equal to mass upon volume. That means we can say that density is inversely proportional to volume. Density is inversely proportional to volume from this expression. we have density is equal to mass upon volume, and volume is in the denominator. So we can say that density and volume, they have inverse relation. That is, density is inversely proportional to volume. Why? Because volume is in the denominator. So if it is in the denominator, then we can see that this expression, this value, the value of the volume will be inversely proportional to density, because volume is in the denominator. Then what do you mean by inversely proportional? That is, if there is high density, volume will be low, or if there is low density, volume will be high. So this is called inverse relation. So how can we know that inverse relation? Because the volume is in the denominator. So that means density and volume will be in inverse relation. That is, if there is high volume of the substance will have low density. If the substance will have low density, its density is high. So that's why I told you the density depends on the volume. The density of the substance depends on the volume. And when you discuss about this, if you take solid, liquid and gas of same mass. Suppose we have 3 samples of substance, solid, liquid and gas, and all of these 3 have same mass. Suppose same mass, liquid, we have solid, liquid and gas, 3 substances of 3 different states, and they have same mass. We have taken equal masses of solid, liquid and gas. Understand? That means the numerator, the value of numerator will be same for all. When you calculate density of solid, liquid and gas, and in this case the mass of all these 3 equal, that means when you calculate, when you find the density of these 3, the mass, the numerator value will be same for all of them, but the volume will be different. The mass can be same for solid, liquid and gas, but the volume means the amount of space occupies will be different. Mass can be same for these 3, but the volume can be different. So the volume can be different means density will be different, because volume, density depends on volume. So for that we can consider this example. Suppose you take solid, liquid and gas like this, and we know the relation that if there is density is equal to mass by volume, and since volume is in the denominator, we can say that density is inversely proportional to volume. That means inverse relation between these. Inverse means if there is low volume, there will be high density, and if there is high volume, the density of the substance will be low. This is the relation, because density is inversely proportional to volume. And in this case, we are going to take solid, liquid and gas substances of same mass. Here we will take 8 gram solid and 8 gram liquid and 8 gram gas. Suppose each particle is of 1 gram. Total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have taken that each particle is of 1 gram. So 1 gram, total 8 gram. And same is in the case of liquid state, each particle is of 1 gram, and here total we have taken 8 gram. 8 gram means there should be 8 particles, and 8 gram gas also means there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 particles. So that means we have taken equal masses of 8 gram solid, 8 gram liquid and 8 gram mass. That means when you find the density of these 3, the mass denominator will be same, because of, so the numerator mass will be remain same because equal mass 8 gram. Then what about the volume? Volume is not same. See this In the case of solid, what will be the volume? Volume means the space filled by the substance. So we know that in the solids, the particles are closely packed. Therefore, the 8 particles will be arranged like this. Because in solid state, we know the arrangement. The particles are closely packed and there are less empty space. So the 8 particles can be arranged like this. Then what will be the volume? Volume of solid will be this much. Understand? Volume means the space. So this much of space filled by this 8 gram solid. What about liquid? 8 gram liquid, we have 8 particles. And we know the arrangement of liquid. In the case of liquids, the particles are loosely packed compared to solid and there will be spaces. As a result, how much space? This is the space filled by 8 gram liquid. That means this is the volume. So in which case volume is more? In liquid state. And in solid state only small volume. What about the last one? 8 gram gas. 8 gram gas, we have 8 particles. And what about the arrangement of these particles in gas? We know that spread out of the particles, loose packing, more loose packing than liquid, and the particles are far away from each other and there will be large empty spaces. Because of this arrangement, what will be the space of these 8 particles? So this much of space, that is, this will be the volume of gas. So this is the volume of 8 gram gas and this much of 8 gram liquid volume, and this is the volume of 8 gram solid. In which case volume is plus? Yes, in this case this is less. And in gas we can see that large amount of volume. So low volume, same mass we have taken, 8 gram solid, 8 gram liquid and 8 gram gas, but the volume will be different. Low volume in the case of solid, and we know that volume and density is inversely proportional. If there is low volume, density will be high. That means if the solids have low volume compared to liquids and gases, its density will be high, because we know that density is inversely proportional to volume. If there is low volume, the density of the substance will be high. That means solids have high density. And what about gases? In gases we have volume high volume. If there is high volume, what about density? Low density, because of inverse proportion. So if there is high volume, the substance will have low density. That means the gas will have low density and the solids will have high density. And what about liquid state? Liquid state will have more density than gases but less density than solids. So this is the difference in density of solid, liquid and gas, because the density depends on the volume. And we know that because of the close packing of the particles in the solid state, the volume will be very low. If the volume is low, density high. But in gases, loose packing of the particles and more spaces, as a result, high volume. If you take same amount of gas, and if there is high volume, density will be very low. So that's why we can say that solids have high density than liquids and gases. So this is about density. So all these properties are already given in the WhatsApp group. So you have to write the notes in the notebook and learn. Thank you.